What's up, guys? Goglabesh again, and we return to more Persona 4 Arena. Ooh. Something important to note is that this will probably be the last pre-cliffhanger, story thing, last with commentary. I'm gonna start doing it without, just kind of straight up recording it, because I don't have a lot of time to do it with commentary until I don't have a lot of time to do it with commentary before Ultimax comes out, and I just want to make sure it's done, because I want to play Ultimax here because I think it'll be fun, and then when Ultimax comes out, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So this will be the last one with commentary. So Akihiko, Mitsuru, and Labrys's pre-cliffhanger stories will be done without, and then that gives me enough time, because I'll be kind of really busy in the last few weeks of August here. So that'll give me enough until I can do another session, and then I will start finishing up stories, and then I'll probably do a couple post ones, like I'll do use with commentary, might do like some other characters with commentary, but for the most part I'll probably stick to just straight up putting it up, which is a bit different from what I'm used to. It's a bit different from what is normally up on my channel, and I do apologize, but due to time constraints, this is what will have to happen. So, without further ado, let's get into Aegis's story, and I'm gonna get fucking bodied, because I practiced with her a little bit, and then I didn't record it, and then now I'm here, and I'm gonna get bodied hard. Oh boy, okay. I don't even remember her fucking moveset. I know she has like an overdrive. She's got a limited amount of projectiles. Yeah, another zoning character I'm not good with.
Are you awake?
I'm sorry. I had turned off my consciousness to test the new equipment installed on me.
Yes, that's why we use the emergency channel. We've been asked to go into action.
Has something happened? Who sent the request?
We'll brief you on the details in transit. Also, regulations say that the member with the lowest serial number is in command. Currently, that's you.
I'm in command? Are you sure about this? After all,
You're well suited for it, in my opinion.
Understood.
Oh, we're at the airport. May 1st, 2012! Men equipped with assault suits and tactical vests line the concrete ground. Their urban camouflage and unmoving poses give them the appearance of an orderly line of rocks. 30 minutes have already passed since the special assault team took up positions near the passenger plane stopped on the landing strip. Their captain glares at the passenger plane before he slowly turns around and looks at each of his men. Every last one wears ski masks and thick tactical visors to mask their identities, but he knows them nonetheless.
Tell me about the situation and make it quick. We don't have much time.
He's not wearing a ski mask. You literally just ruined what you just described, game. One of the team steps forward next to him. The touchscreen tablet in his right hand has a summary of the case on it. On May 1st, 2012, around 0900 hours, a wide-body passenger aircraft heading for Kagoshima sent out a 7500 squawk code during passenger boarding. Following a signal, the captain reported to the control tower that the aircraft had been hijacked. Since the uprising occurred during passenger boarding, only half of the passengers, 168 exactly, had boarded. The 10 crew members bring it to a total of 178 hostages thought to be on board. Some passengers seated near the hatch had succeeded in escaping. The following points were gained from questioning them. Take care not to be seen by the hijackers. There are 3 hijackers. All of them are covering their faces with ski masks. All of them are armed with what seems to be pistols. From their voices and builds, they appear to be males. They all spoke fluent Japanese. Currently, the aircraft in question has moved to the front of the landing strip at the hijackers' insistence and is stopped there. The authorities have attempted to negotiate with the hijackers by radio, but they have made no demands. The team member finishes his report. Captain nods silently and addresses his team.
There hasn't been a plane hijacked in this country in over 10 years. None of us, not even me, have dealt with this before. Still, the procedure remains the same. Trust yourself, remember your training, and keep a cool head.
The captain turns towards the plane again. Taking that as a cue, the team scatters to their specified posts to take up positions. The only thing to do now is see what happens. Eventually, 10 o'clock comes around. Half an hour has passed already with no new developments. Repeated attempts to raise the hijackers have been made, but they have yet to make any demands. Tensions are beginning to rise. The worst case scenario is that they have no need to make demands, that their objective is to seize the passenger plane itself. In this case, the team would be facing a large-scale terrorist attack.
Come on, talk to us.
The captain mutters to himself, deep in thought. From the perspective of rescuing the hostages, every second that passes without learning the hijackers' objective is a second wasted. The captain and his team can wait in hiding, but the same is not true for the passengers on board. For untrained civilians, extreme stress can easily lead to physical and mental problems. It's true not only for the hostages, but for the hijackers as well. When people lose their nerve, they tend to act rashly. The hostages will begin to lose hope, and the hijackers will begin taking it out on the hostages. Ooh. An hour into the incident, anything could be happening inside the plane. The captain could do nothing but glare as the time ticked by. Bum, bum, bum. After 15 more minutes had passed, a slight change in the situation was reported. All emails and calls going through stations near the airport are being checked. The details of the messages are thought to be from inside the plane are not confirmed. It appeared that the hijackers had confiscated all cellular phones as per standard hijacking plans, but...
Sir, there's a report from HQ. They picked up a transmission from one of the passenger's cell phones. It's a smartphone with GPS, so they can tell it's inside the plane.
Confirm those details for me.
There are two possibilities: the hijackers are using a passenger phone to contact associates outside, or that a passenger is contacting someone in secret. The latter possibility is more likely. More and more devices have communication capabilities now, making it extremely difficult for hijackers to remove them entirely from play. And the more hostages involved, the more courageous they become, and less likely to take risks. Unfortunately, more hostages involved means it's all the more dangerous to provoke the hijackers. Each individual hostage is worth less to them. The details of the transmission make it apparent that the situation is worse than the team had assumed. The cell phone's owner is a man in his 60s in first class. He signed up with the captain service after being diagnosed with heart illness. It's a remote EKG monitoring service that keeps track of the patient's heartbeat. A scheduled message was automatically sent for the patient's cell phone. The service provider promptly contacted the police, informing them that the man was in bad shape.
Man's life is at stake if we don't wrap this up within the hour. Looks like we can't stall for time.
As panic spreads, a proposal for negotiations based on this fact and the proposal to storm the plane are both considered. But because only half the passengers had boarded, the situation inside the plane is uncertain, making devising a tactical plan difficult. Though if nothing is done, a passenger will surely succumb within the hour. Oh no, a blunder like that must be avoided at all costs. That was the thinking that guided the police officials to make their decision. That same day at 10:30. Now what?
Withdraw? This is a hijacking! What are you thinking, withdrawing our people? Yes, I understand.
Wait, what's going on?
Orders are orders. We'll fall back at once. Get ready.
No one understood the sudden withdrawal order. Why withdraw the team during a hijacking? No one on the scene agreed with the decision, but the order could not be overturned. The men here are not the brain, but limbs whose power is best put to use by precisely following orders. Just then another group approaches without a sound. Its members are dressed differently in suits and trench coats, but all of them wear black with sunglasses. At a glance, it's clear that they are tall, well-built, and used to rough situations. Nearly 20 of them gather in one place. They are imposing, despite their silence. They don't seem to be airport personnel, but neither are they known to the police. However, the captain senses a kindred spirit in them and approaches.
Who are you?
His voice is laced with suspicion, but the man in black at the head of the group speaks dispassionately as if he'd heard nothing.
Next half hour, we're in command of this scene.
You didn't answer the question. Who's responsible for this?
The captain's tone unconsciously hardens. The group of men in black parts, and one of their number in the rear steps forth. The captain can't stop himself from furrowing his brow. He can already sense the unrest spreading amongst his team, watching in silence. The one step forward looked like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She is dressed in black and sunglasses like those around her, but her slender build is out of place. Not only that, her blonde hair stands out even more in contrast to her all-black outfit. The girl walks a few more steps forward and removes her sunglasses. Ah, the captain intended to praise the look in her eyes, but only gasps at her crystalline blue eyes. He quickly regains himself and frowns at her.
You're the one in charge?
Yes,
Are you shitting me?
No.
there is no time to waste quarreling.
The girl looks at him fearlessly, despite the armed team surrounding her. The unreality of it all is what helps the captain get over his surprise. Her age and appearance are most likely meaningless. She's clearly no ordinary girl.
You're gonna tell me who you're with?
I cannot.
So you expect me to hand over control of the scene to you without even telling me who the hell you are?
I believe orders to withdraw have already been issued.
Her calm, sweet voice only irritates him. Captain closes the distance with the girl, and while he stops short of grabbing her suit, he glares into those blue eyes from only inches away.
I don't know what kind of juice you have with the brass, but are you ready to be responsible for the deaths of those passengers?
Your protests are doing nothing to relieve the danger. Rescuing them as soon as possible is my, or rather, our duty.
The girl is completely unruffled as she speaks. It's like she's a machine or something, the captain thinks, more dumbfounded than angry.
Within us, we too wish to save them.
For the first time, something like determination flickers within those crystalline eyes. After looking into them, the captain finds something akin to resolve and confidence in them. He steps back. Raising his right hand to his chest, he shows the girl his watch.
But you got exactly 30 minutes and not a second more.
Understood.
After the girl nods, she gives instructions to prepare a stair car to the group she is leading. The captain's fist tightens nervously. Since there are a few uses for a stair car, quietly moving it in place may make the hijackers think that a strike team is getting ready to storm the plane. There's no hesitation in the girl's actions.
Well then, move in as naturally as possible while staying in their blind spots.
Eventually, a roofless stair car advances slowly towards the passenger plane.
As we can get without them noticing will be about 10 meters from the plane.
That will be more than enough.
More than enough? What's the point of half-assing it like that? Captain's annoyance begins to turn to curiosity. If she's replacing the SAT team, then she must have a plan beyond simple brute force. But
Now, let's begin.
stair car stops. The girl gets out of the driver's seat. She walks slightly behind the vehicle, turns toward the passenger plane, and sits with one knee up.
What's she doing?
She gonna jump! Captain brings up a pair of binoculars to see her behavior more closely. At first, he assumes she is going to use the stair car's movement as a decoy and send her team in from a different direction. Like humans, most vehicles have significant blind spots above and underneath. Yet that doesn't seem to be her plan. Does she plan to make her move while using the stair car as a shelter? Is she possibly going to snipe them? Captain disregards the possibility it would be foolish to set up a sniper perch at the lower angle of the elevation where the girl is now. While the captain mulls over the question, the girl makes an unexpected move. She appears to lower her stance slightly one moment, and the next she is no longer in sight. By the time the captain grasps that she is running, she's already reached the top of the stair car. Her slender body launches like a cannonball from the top of the stairs.
What?
Oh!
She jumped?
Hell yeah, she jumped. Even the SAT members voice their surprise. The girl's leap arcs over a distance of over 10 meters. Good God. Oh, I know English. It's clearly beyond the abilities of a human being. Coming in the middle of a hijacking, the scene seems even more surreal. The girl lands on top of the aircraft and stands as if nothing unusual had happened. She looks at the aircraft beneath her and slowly turns her head to scan it from back to front. It reminds the captain of the movement of a security camera. He knows it should be impossible, but he wonders if she can see through the plane's ceiling. Eventually, the girl seems convinced of something and begins walking. When she reaches the boarding hatch at the front, she moved her right hand to her back. Captain notices that a special knife coated in gray from blade to hilt is in her hand.
What's she gonna do with that knife?
He's so like, oh man, what's she gonna do next? Oh shit! The girl suddenly lowers her stance and slides under the side of the aircraft. Just as she's about to fall, she thrusts the knife into the jamb of the hatch and dangles from it.
Crazy.
She then uses her left hand to pull the handle and unlocks the hatch with ease. Once the thick airtight door juts out of the aircraft, the girl nimbly jumps into the plane. The captain is shocked by her dauntless methods. He begins to wonder if she intends to defuse the situation on her own. The captain lowers the binoculars and faces the reality before him with his own eyes. Who in the world is she? The doubts he had dismissed rise within him again. Nope, inside the plane. Ooh. A warning light goes on in the cramped cockpit. Two people there notice it at once. One of them is the captain, sitting in the pilot's seat. The other is a man holding a gun to the back of the captain's head. The light is labeled hatch open. Even an amateur can understand what it means. The man suddenly tenses and stands ready at the passenger side door. He prepares himself for someone to charge through, but he quickly regains himself and turns the gun back onto the captain. The man casts irritated glances back and forth between the captain and the door for a while, but eventually approaches the door, his gun pointed at the captain. He cautiously cracks open the door and looks through the passenger seating. Just outside the cockpit is the first class section, but the passengers were gathered in the economy class at the time of the hijacking. First class is empty. The man squints. To ward off observation or worse, snipers, the windows are down. Coming into the darkened plane from a bright cockpit forces his eyes to adjust. But from the corner of his eyes, he sees a gleam of light shining in that's unlike the regular lights. And within that light is a silhouette. Before he can react, the silhouetted figure closes the distance. A hand grabs the edge of the door and opens it with tremendous force. Oh, I guess it's so cool. So fucking cool. 2 quick, heavy shots are fired. The man collapses unconscious without a sound. Captain turns around and is surprised to see the intruder, a blonde girl with an index finger to her lips to signal silence. She first lays the man on the ground and then removes the pistol in his hand. On closer inspection, it's only a model gun supplemented with metal parts. The seam between the parts is in different places compared to a real gun. Taken apart, the disassembled pieces will look nothing like a real pistol. The girl then takes handcuffs from a small pouch on her waist and fastens the man's arm to a seat leg near the window. Even if he wakes up, he will be unable to stand. Though the captain looks as if he wishes to say something, the girl's eyes meet his and insist on silence as she leaves. The curtain dividing the first class and economy class is closed. The girl hides herself behind it and peeks through. There's a man in each of the aisles on the left and right. Neither seems to have noticed her. The passengers and cabin crew are crammed in 2 seats in the back. Everyone's placement matches the readings from her heat sensors she picked up from above the plane. Both remaining hijackers are closer to the first class. The man closest to her is only a few steps away. She judges that he can easily be disabled before reacting if she moves quickly. Both carry pistols, but they're the same type as the downed hijacker. From what she can see, these 2 are mere model guns. The girl swiftly pushes aside the curtain and grabs the closer man's right wrist. The hijacker, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of such a slender girl, stops moving for a moment. In that moment, he surrenders any chance of victory he may have had. With a pain cry, he drops the pistol to the ground. The girl uses her grip on his right hand to put him to the ground, then smoothly pulls out another pair of handcuffs and locks his arms to the passenger seat. The man thrashes about, but despite his struggle, he is no better than a worm writhing on the ground. The last hijacker finally recovers from his shock and aims his gun. The girl pulls a button from the other man's sleeve and flicks it towards her opponent's face. The button travels at immense speed, though it is only fired from her fingers. The man tries to shield his face, but he is too late and groans in pain when the projectile impacts his forehead. She fucking took down a guy with a button. Fucking badass. The girl does not let the opportunity pass. She easily jumps over the 3-seat wide center block of seats with one arm and grabs the man's right hand. And she repeats the same procedure as she used before. Their weapons are immediately seized while they are restrained on the floor. The passengers are now only grasping what's happening before their eyes. A murmuring chorus
Be
rises.
alarmed. I have come to rescue you. Your safety has not been secured yet, so please stay calm and remain in your seats.
The passengers erupt into cheer. There's sporadic applause as well. There's a slightly hysterical tinge to it in reaction to the tension of the situation.
Excuse me. We were told someone requires medical assistance for their chronic heart illness. His name is...
Just as the girl approaches the center of the plane, she senses a male passenger stand up from his seat. He's extremely calm and quiet as he does so. The girl belatedly picks up on the incongruity. All the other passengers are nervous. It is then that she feels something hard pressing up against the back of her head. She knows without looking it is the muzzle of a gun. Nearby passengers' cries of relief suddenly turn to screams.
with your judgment to stay hidden until an opportunity arose.
The girl is unperturbed as she continues to look straight ahead. The man stays silent and keeps the pistol pressed to her head. She knows there is no danger of being shot, but she is not yet sure that he was the only one in hiding. Left with no choice, the girl accedes to his demands and moves forward. After about 10 steps, another man stands up, as expected. The man doesn't answer. He slowly approaches from the front. The girl is now sandwiched from the front and back. At that moment, footsteps sound from beyond the curtain, leading into the first class. The two culprits both react at once, but it is too late. Over 10 men in black rush in at once from beyond the curtain. Where the fuck did they come from? While the girl had drawn the hijacker's attention with the scuffle, the stair car had closed in. First, they pinned down the man standing in front. The narrow passage gives the man behind her a short reprieve, but doesn't last long. The moment he lowers his hand, gripping the pistol in order to escape, the girl grabs his wrist. So focused he was on the men who burst on the scene that he forgot about the threat the girl posed. He's immediately tripped and restrained once he falls on his back. The girl stands up and looks around. If there are any more hijackers inside the plane, this would be their last chance to make a stand. But no one rises from their seat. She glances toward the men in black, and they nod back in acknowledgement. Seems the crisis had been averted. The girl carefully keeps her thoughts from appearing on her face and gives an inner sigh of relief. Soon afterward, the sweeper team gives a report confirming the aircraft is secure. The girl works with the cabin crew to arrange transport for the man with the heart illness before she steps out for a moment. Oh, they got the stair car now. Oh, look at that. It's got a cool. They added it. Oh. She turns on the blue indicator light in the stair car and waves it in circles toward the SAT's position. It is a signal that the crisis is over.
Done already?
On receiving the sign, the SAT's team stand by. What? The SAT team on standby starts talking amongst themselves.
It's been 5 minutes. There should have been at least 3 hijackers.
You know what they remind me of is those guys. Like Men in Black or something.
That's exactly what they are. They are Men in Black.
Captain, who are those people? Is that one even human?
No, she isn't. Captain sighs with reluctance.
This is just
Oh!
a rumor. But I've heard that the higher-ups formed an unofficial security group in conjunction with a certain corporation. It's supposedly for cases that are a little strange. I hear they have some official standing with the police, too. Though it's all some private enterprise, so technically, there's no authority involved at all.
What? But this is Japan we're talking about.
Not America.
Search and destroy unit that answers to no department, keeps no records. I've heard them called shadow operatives.
He turns on his own blue light as a sign of understanding and waves it left and right. The response light comes from up ahead. The girl then sees the captain spreading his arms in a shrug and smiles for the first time. She feels slightly bad for them. Her team may have shamed them, though they had done nothing wrong. I should apologize to them later. But then, in the corner of the girl's eyes near the entrance of the luggage carts at the corner of the building, a figure catches her attention.
A girl?
The girl seems to be about her age and is wearing a plain cape-like dress. The girl in the aircraft feels oddly uneasy at seeing the figure. To begin with, given the heightened security, the parking entrance should be strictly sealed, but the figure looks perfectly ordinary.
May I check on something?
The girl calls to the SAT captain over the radio. There appears to be some slight interference necessitating an adjustment of the dial.
If you look towards my left, in front of the luggage loading bay is...
But during the movement, she looked away. The figure had disappeared. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
She's not there. That can't be.
The girl looks around, but the figure is nowhere to be seen. Where could she have gone in this open space with nowhere to hide?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was apparently seeing things.
The girl shuts the radio off. Who was that just now? Was I truly seeing things? With those questions in mind, the girl tries to remember the figure's appearance in detail. Only then does she realize the cause of her unease. That light blue dress the figure wore is very similar to the one she herself once had. It reminds her of her days when she did not yet have a heart. Oh man, we're kind of gearing up for a hell of an intro here. Like a Naruto type story, I believe. The girl puts those thoughts aside and returns to the aircraft. The mission does not end with taking the culprits into custody. In truth, along with defusing the situation and securing the safety, one particular passenger was her highest priority. This fact was not revealed to the SAT team. The passenger was originally seated in first class but would have been forced to move. The girl looks carefully through the restless passengers. It is not long before she finds the face she seeks. Looking relieved, the girl walks towards the passenger in
Are
question.
you all right, Mitsuru-san?
I guess. I didn't think you'd be the one to come.
The woman who answers has long, shining hair that would make an impression on anyone. Her refined appearance makes her stand out over and above her calm position in the seat. Agus knows the woman well.
I was surprised to be called on to deal with something like this. The suspects made no demands. What were they after? At first, I thought I was summoned because you were their target, Mitsuru-san.
The higher-ups must have thought the same thing and panicked. Especially considering there's cargo on that plane they wouldn't want made public. Wait a second, that cargo...
Is something wrong?
This hijack seems strange now that I think about it. They made their move before takeoff, which is odd timing. And they forced the boarding announcement to be stopped. I thought maybe it was their way of trying to pull it off with a small team.
Are you saying that rather than a passenger, they were after that cargo? It's true that no one would consider the unloaded luggage during a hijacking.
I guess I need you to check on my things. Though if I'm right, it's already too late.
In response, Aegis instructs her team via radio to secure all luggage transport routes. Moreover, she requests a search to ensure that no cargo has been taken.
If you're right, why would they be interested in your belongings?
My usual cargo wouldn't be worth hijacking a plane over. But normally, if they wanted it, they'd have to bypass a Corregio facility's security or attack the vehicle transporting it. But by doing it this way, they can divert the entire country's attention with a few model guns.
Mitsuru smiles. I guess to tell that she is impressed with her audacity despite herself.
Mitsuru-san's cargo. Sensitive belongings for a vacation. I understand. Hijacking a plane out of a desperate desire for undergarments. This incident will surely go down in history.
What? Mitsuru's eyes bulge at the unexpected comment.
What? You're jumping to conclusions. It's not sensitive in that way. Besides, my underwear is in this bag and...
Jeez.
That's it. Enough about underwear.
She forces a cough and steers the conversation back on track.
More accurately, my cargo contained items from Ergo Research. My trip to Kagoshima was partly vacation, but also to oversee their transferal to Yakushima.
The official name of Ergo Research is the Corregio's Ergonomics Research Lab. Both Mitsuru and Aegis have many bitter memories associated with the name. A pall hangs in the air. But a radio transmission from one of Aegis' team cuts the moment short.
Aegis speaking. I see. Understood.
Mitsuru looks at Aegis questioningly and she
It's as
nods.
suspected. They found that one of the boxes scheduled for transport has gone missing.
I thought as much.
With a small sigh, Mitsuru rises from her
Let's
seat.
get it back, I guess. The rest of the team can finish up here. I need you to come with me.
Aegis inspects Mitsuru's face
Will you
carefully.
be joining the search as well?
Well, I am personally involved, so yes.
In other words, you will officially rejoin the unit and participate in this mission. To be more direct, is it accurate to say that you are abandoning your vacation?
Mitsuru sighs with some exhaustion. Aegis interrupts her silence as
Then
approval.
I hereby transfer command authority to you, Mitsuru-san. Regulations state that the member with the lowest serial number is to take command. And since you are member number 1, the official leader of the Security Department Shadow Response Unit, also called the Shadow Operatives.
I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to enjoy this vacation for long.
Traveling with cargo from Ergo Research suggests that her vacation was neither relaxing nor cheerful.
Can't allow anyone to be hurt again by the things we, the Kirijo group, created. We'll get this cargo back at all costs. Mission or no mission, I'm making it a personal priority.
Understood.
Aegis answered loudly and snaps off the police salute that she's finally gotten the hang of. Good job, Aegis. Finally got the hang of the... I am Aegis! Oh my god, we're finally getting like an actual intro to her. Holy crap. My official name is 7th Generation Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon, Aegis. As my name implies, I am not human. I'm a humanoid weapon, a robot essentially. Though with the right clothes, a surprising number of people cannot tell the difference. I was created in a research lab owned by one of the world's foremost conglomerates, the Corregio Group. I was made to exterminate a certain enemy. They are called shadows, monsters born from people's repressed emotions, granted dark life. Shadows can only be defeated by those with a special power personas. One persona is said to wield the shadow within, two sides of the same coin. Blah 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 persona, we already kind of all know this kind of stuff. She was made to develop a persona, because I guess this is due. Body designed for battle. I did endure some suffering because of my original purpose, but now I have a place where I belong, somewhere I can make full beneficial use of my powers. As the Security Department Shadow Response Unit, our nickname is the Shadow Operatives. Shadow Operatives were formed at Mitsuru Corregio's directive. She is the scion of the Corregio group who created me. She has taken responsibility for shadows. Our objective is to identify them and resolve incidents involving shadows by eliminating them. All of our members are Persona users or have similar qualifications. During operations, our guidelines state that the member with the smallest number has command. The number that I was issued is 5. Though I'm not human, I'm treated as a member and not a piece of equipment. Moreover, my number is in single digits. It's possible that there will be missions like today where I must take command of dangerous operations. In other words, I am recognized as having the same life and dignity as humans. Because Mitsuru-san and others have such trust in me, I want to repay that trust with results. There's another reason I'm working my hardest on this case. If Aigis is 5, I want to know who the other 4 are. Mitsuru's 1. Akihiko's probably 2 or 3. Who the fuck are the other ones? Like, who's so important that they get to be more important than Aigis? That's my question. Soon after the hijacking was resolved, the stolen cargo was identified. Its contents surprised me. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression unit weapon. A unit named Labris. She was one of my sister units. She was sealed over a decade ago for some reason and has been in storage with the other artifacts since then. Labris, a humanoid weapon just like me. It is possible that she has a heart. If so, I want to save her before she is misused. This is a mission, but more than that, I feel that it is a duty I must carry out. I will place a bookmark. It doesn't matter. I'll place it over kanjis. It doesn't matter where I place it. It's almost kind of weird to see that I've been fucking playing this game for 6 fucking months. Good lord. More than that. It's taking me a fucking year to finish half these stories. Good God. Too much. Conference room. Oh. The next day, May 2nd. We wanted to pursue the vehicle carrying Labras as soon as the hijacking was over, but its complicated route made it hard to track. Due to the sensitive nature of the cargo, it is difficult to set up large-scale traffic checkpoints. Fortunately, the license plate number was determined quickly, and we got a rough estimation of the destination. Our headquarters were moved to a police facility. Mitsuru-san and our team are sorting out the situation to plan for an operation.
Interrogation of the suspects?
It's begun, but all of them are claiming that their memories at the time are very foggy, so they've been sent in for evaluation. The psychologists who interviewed them think it's possible they're not lying.
So none of the 5 have any memories of what happened during the hijacking.
Normally that would seem preposterous. There may have been some hypnotic effect, but even then...
We're dealing with someone after materials from Ergo research. They'll likely be very well informed about shadows and the mind. Knowing that, it doesn't seem so strange. It would also explain the extreme lengths they went to create a decoy. What else do we know?
Another team member answers Mitsuru-san's question.
The cage storing the 5th generation is too large to transport by personal auto. We narrowed our search to large vehicles that left the airport. That, combined with the testimony from our observer and data from the transmitter, allowed us to pinpoint the vehicle in question. The police are already pursuing it via the N system. This is the most recent photo.
He hands the tablet to Mitsuru-san.
Area. Wasn't this the place where...
Yes, our routine investigation last year rated the potential shadow activity in the area at level 4.
Seems that the culprit in this case definitely had prior knowledge of shadows after all. If that is true, we must use extra caution. Many people do not know about shadows, though they are enough of a threat as to possibly destroy the world. Then again, I experienced that for myself 3 years ago. If someone is trying to manipulate them, we must prevent it at all costs.
About the stolen 5th generation unit. I guess, as the 7th generation, would be her younger sister.
A sister. My older sister.
I'd like to know why she was sealed.
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris. The records show her to be the first model fitted with an artificial personality.
In other words, she has a heart?
There's no knowing if it was developed enough to call it that. She seems to have been made to gather test data rather than actual field use.
What are her combat capabilities?
She wasn't given firearms, since her regulatory system was inadequate. So she was instead loaded with some kind of special equipment. Unfortunately, the majority of the records pertaining to her are missing, which means that's the extent of our knowledge.
Special equipment?
We also don't know why she was sealed. Many of the documents regarding the old Ergo research were lost, probably to cover up incriminating evidence. We don't even know what she looks like. All we do know is that she was a life-sized android.
We'll just have to find out along the way.
Mitsuru-san swipes her finger across the tablet a few times and shows it to an
I'll
aide.
need these 3 individuals' cooperations. I'd like to join them in the field.
Are you sure about this?
Try not to make a scene when fetching them. Not all of them are part of our organization.
The aide nods his assent and returns to his station. Mitsuru-san then turns her gaze on me.
Frankly, I think we can assume that there'll be combat involved. Will you be alright with that?
Though Mitsuru-san doesn't say it out loud, I understand what she means. Our highest priority in this operation is to stop the culprit and mitigate any associated danger, not to rescue Labris. Of course, we will strive to accomplish both, but in the worst case scenario, we must consider the option of destroying Labris. Destroying a sister unit. It'll be a painful experience if she too has a
I
heart.
thank you for your concern, but I'll be fine. I will do my duty.
Mitsuru-san says nothing more and silently nods.
Once we can confirm our target is headed to Inaba, we'll depart at once.
That's very nice and all. I think we already confirmed. May 3rd! Oh yes, we have already confirmed. As we get ready to depart for Inaba, Mitsuru-san and I go over last minute details inside the police station. Mitsuru-san is absorbed with issuing instructions over the cell phone she is holding. Pessimism seeps into my heart as I wait. I begin muttering to myself.
Will we be able to find Labris? My sister?
Mitsuru-san's surprised voice makes me realize how unlike me these doubts
Will we
are.
be able to save her? Isn't that what you really want to ask? Don't worry. As I mentioned to Akihiko, fighting Labris is not our priority. The reason I formed this shadow operative team is to save lives. We will find her, whatever it takes, and bring her back. We can do this.
Yes. I'm sorry to be so pessimistic.
Those feelings you have for Labris, you should tell her when you see her.
I will.
Friends bound by trust are irreplaceable indeed. I hope that Labris will become one as well. Eventually, preparations are made and our limousine departs on its journey to Inaba. That evening, we are in Inaba now, traveling down a Midtown street. Though it is called Midtown, it is very different from an urban air environment. It is quiet, rustic road. The vehicle we are targeting is easily discovered. The transmitter that was attached to it when it left from the airport is, luckily for us, still active. But the vehicle has been abandoned and the cargo is gone as well. Thanks, Naoto, for setting that transmitter up. To trace it further, we must learn why the culprit came here. Specifically, we need to know the details of what happened here last year. Those already assumed, so we have a plan. Mitsuru-san orders the driver to park nearby. However, this poses an unexpected problem. Her vehicle's long, black 8-door limousine stands out badly in this countryside town no matter where it's parked. It's kind of set up.
Mitsuru-san, our activities are supposed to be undercover, correct?
Why does it look like Ragnarok is happening outside? It looks like fucking Pompeii or some shit.
Yes.
For undercover missions, it will be necessary to keep all personnel and vehicles from being noticed.
Right.
Mitsuru-san, may I say something that I've been meaning to say for a while now?
No.
No, shut down.
Understood.
Well, I told them
Okay.
to give us a car with enough space.
Wherever we go, people peer into the windows out of curiosity. We avoid the public eye as much as possible and finally park in what looks like a site for vehicle disposal on the outskirts of the town.
Our contact has arrived.
I then notice a middle-aged man in a gray suit standing outside the window. I recognize his face. He's one of the 3 collaborators Mitsuru-san contacted before our departure. Is it Dojima? I scoot over to the door and open the window.
Okay. This was not our designated meeting area, yet he has discovered us.
Suddenly something not unlike astonishment or discouragement appears on his face. It must be Dojima.
I know how I did it.
Oh, it's fucking hero. Yes. A cough interrupts
Appreciate
us.
your cooperation, Detective Kurosawa.
That's Kurosawa. I keep forgetting his name. He's so cool though. I keep forgetting his name. Mitsuru-san gets out of the vehicle and slightly bows. 3 years ago, when we were still fighting shadows in secret, Detective Kurosawa worked as a police officer in a nearby police box. He believed that our intentions were good and supplied us with certain conveniences under the table. His job made this risky, but he always has acted on behalf of what he believed to be just. He said this many times while supporting us in secret. He's a strong man who always acts on his beliefs. But now our organization has official government sanction. He can now cooperate with us without being considered a rebellious act. Kurosawa-san's prior actions have recently been reassessed. He was promoted for his special expertise. I have heard that he is now a plainclothes detective working at the Central
Long
Precinct.
time no see, miss. And Aegis, was it?
Indeed. It has been a while.
Kurosawa-san fixes his eyes on Masaru-san and me. It is faintly awkward. We're both dressed for combat, and I am not wearing clothes that camouflages my nature.
Sorry for staring. A humanoid weapon. I was skeptical when I heard, but seeing you in person doesn't leave any room for doubt.
I'm sorry that I kept it hidden back then.
It's all right. It would have caused more of a headache if you'd gone around looking like that.
Hearing him say that, I cannot help but smile.
Laugh like that makes it harder to believe you're a machine.
I shouldn't make you stand while we talk. Please, get in.
Ah, sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I had a lot to say.
Matsuru-san asked Kurosawa-san to collect information on the serial murder case that occurred in this town last year. When background research was carried out across Japan at the end of 2011, this region returned high numbers in shadow detection measurements. But although it was investigated, there's no effects apart from slightly unnatural weather. Then again, what if something did happen that was just hard to detect? Matsuru-san suspects that the serial murder case was related to these shadows and asked Kurosawa-san to have the local police force share their reports. We could have requested them directly, but what we wanted would not be the surface information found in the investigation records. There are limits to what an unofficial unit cloaked by authority can do with a direct request.
I found out quite a bit regarding the case you had me look into. First, I reviewed the report on the incidents from last year. One of the suspects mentioned the word persona.
I locked gazes with Matsuru-san.
What went on here last year?
It's probably related, but I wasn't done there. Parts of this guy's testimony were even more outlandish. If you can take what's in the record at face value, it seems persona users can enter TVs within the Inaba region.
Enter TVs? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. You physically stick your body into the screen and go inside. He claimed there was another world in the TV, and dropping people inside it was the method behind last year's murders.
This all sounds rather absurd. I'm surprised it was included in the police report.
I got in touch with the detective in charge at the time and said the same thing. Apparently the report was filed by a young partner of his at the time. He'd entertained the wildest testimonies like this one.
He sounds like quite the oddball.
If this was what really went on, the police would have had no chance cracking it. But that Detective Dojima is one shrewd guy. Even with all the supernatural hocus-pocus surrounding the case, he caught the culprit.
Kurosawa-san sighs. He seems to be tired.
I have for you right now. I should be going. I doubt either of us has time to reminisce over the old days. It's funny, though. I thought the fighting was over, but you guys surprise me every time I see you.
Thank you very much, Officer Kurosawa. Why don't we at least see you off?
Oh, that's all right. I've got my own car. I doubt my department would appreciate your tastes. If I ever showed up for work in something like this, I'd be the talk of the force until the day I retired.
He opens the door himself and exits the vehicle. He gives a short farewell and leaves without turning back even once.
Mitsuru-san, this could be bad. Our sense of social aptitude is in question.
Can't deny that.
Oh, I guess we're shitty people all of a sudden. This is bad.
What should we do now?
Yes. First, we'll need to test the claim that persona users can enter TVs.
Hearing this reminds me of something. Looking around the area again, although I had called it a vehicle disposal site, there are also household electronics such as refrigerators discarded here. In the corner is a stack of TVs.
There's a discarded TV over there. If the environment does not matter, we can use it to test the phenomenon.
I voluntarily get out of the vehicle. Oh,
Wait,
illegal.
Agnes.
Don't worry. I'm just going to touch it.
I extend my right hand and touch the screen of the biggest TV I can see. My finger brushes the glass screen, but although I seem to be touching it, I feel no resistance from its surface. I push my hand forward a little more. A weak light runs across the screen and my forearm sinks into it.
Amazing.
Rings of light spread from the contact of my arm, rippling like water across a pond.
Interesting. It's exactly as the police report said. What's it like inside? Do you feel anything?
Not particularly. No. Wait a moment.
My sensor detects a sensation I've never felt before. but the knowledge of what it is already recorded within me.
It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Huh. Sounds like fun.
Wow, that looks fucking jarring as hell. I hear a voice come from an unexpected direction. Mitsuru-san and I look towards it. What we see is a silhouette wearing a low hood that covers his eyes and a tattered cape billowing in the wind like a figure from a western. He was standing atop a mountain of trash with his arms crossed. God damn it, Akihiko.
Akihiko?
God, you're such a fucking hero. He jumps down nimbly and walks towards
You
us.
didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
I would never forget the man laughing so fearlessly. Like Mitsuru-san, he's a friend I once fought alongside, Akihiko Sanada. He was a student boxing champion in his school days and a staunch ally, powerful even without his persona. He's also our second collaborator on this case.
It's been a while, Akihiko-san.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Mitsuru's so disappointed in him.
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
Mitsuru-san sighs in annoyance. Oh yes, Akihiko-san was on a training expedition overseas until this morning. As a result, his appearance is very different from the last time I saw him. But his aggressive personality and love of a challenge seem to be the same as always. He gives a cocky smile and smacks his palm with his fist.
We can get inside from that TV, right? And what are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Our target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
Akihiko-san steps forward towards Mitsuru-san as if pressing her.
From how we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever. And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
Akihiko-san's opinion is a bit strong, but he is not incorrect. It's probable that Akihiko-san understands that being slightly forceful is his role. Because Mitsuru-san takes caution seriously as the ultimate authority in this case, she frequently second-guesses herself. I've seen Akihiko-san's words cut through her hesitation in the past. It shows his trust in Mitsuru-san not to make decisions in error.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
He's fired up and ready to go is what he is. Who does she have to call? Oh, that kind of gave me a little bit of a heart attack. Oh, had to load this. I will watch this, even though I'm sure it's going to be the same as Naoto's. I want to see if Naoto's at the end of it. Or if that was something special.
Here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, we'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
Yes, as I suspected, it was different indeed. Good thing I watched it. Now we get to see their initial reactions. Oh no, maybe it wasn't different. Is it going to zoom out to Naoto? Yes.
Why
Yes.
TV? What's going on?
Yeah, so it is the same. Nothing changed about it. I keep that in mind for when I do the next one. I can skip it. Whoo, boy! Alright. Now it should go past. I'm surrounded by a white light that strains most of my sensors to their limits. A portion of my sensors indicate that I'm currently in a state similar to freefall. I can't tell up and down from left and right. This continues for a while. Oh, it's starting the music room, okay. Eventually, my functions slowly recover. I find myself inside an unknown room, sitting with one knee up. I quickly stand and check my surroundings.
Is this the music room of a school?
I can see a music stand, a grand piano, a blackboard, and portraits. There's an air of over-exaggerated theatrics to it, but I may not be too far from the truth. Is this the world inside the TV? After the surreality of entering a TV screen, this comes as quite a surprise.
No sign of Mitsuru-san or Akihiko-san. Did they land elsewhere? So much noise. I can't contact anyone like this.
I attempt to use my communicator, but there is no response. This looks like an ordinary classroom, but it has an alarming amount of radio interference. When I concentrate my senses again, I detect a bizarre disturbance from the entire area that is unlike normal buildings. This may be another world after all. In any case, I must join up with Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san. But just as I begin to make plans to do so, the monitor hanging from the ceiling switches on. What appears on it is, how to describe it, a bizarre figure that looks like a living costume.
I spy an unknown yet bewitching babe. How unexpected! Unexpected!
Oh, okay. Thanks, Teddy. Its comical tone does not last long before the voice becomes distorted and the image disappears. It reminded me of a malfunctioning machine. I stare at the monitor. I have a hunch that it will return soon. Good hunch. Just as I thought, the costume reappears, but its behavior is very different now.
04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
Its mechanical sounding voice is completely different from the joking tone it had before. And that phrase, elimination process, seems that a battle will be starting. I release the safeties from the weapons built into my body. As when a large noise comes from behind me. A young man in a school uniform comes rolling in with a yell.
Ow! Jeez, you decided to open right then. This makes no damn sense.
Damn it, Kanji. I thought I was ready for any eventuality, but I had not expected to suddenly encounter a human.
All right? You seem to be unharmed.
The young man looks back at me with a steely gaze while fixing his bleached hair with his fingers. His behavior does not seem to be that of one who came in pursuit of me.
Never seen you before.
I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Aegis.
Only then do I remember that my appearance would seem very peculiar to a casual observer.
I'm a transfer student. I have blue eyes, blonde hair.
Good save, Aegis. Yep. Yeah, good save. Good save.
Gatling cannon.
Yeah. Good save.
I'm sorry, forget what I said. In the past, that prepared explanation for students has been effective, but no longer.
Okay. Anyways, I'm Kanji Tatsumi. This mean you're my next opponent?
Opponent? What do you mean?
What do I mean? I'm talking about a scrap!
You mean a fight? But we have only met Tatsumi-san. Actually, where are we?
Enough blabbering, you machine!
With a yell, he slams the folding chair in his hands on the ground. A cold, dull, metallic sound echoes and eliminates any possibility of talking this over.
Fake girl like you doing calling me by my name!
Kanji, you asshole. A fake girl. I understand how I might elicit such a reaction, but there is pain in my chest. Though I cannot help but smile at how instinctively I reacted that way. Seems I've become more human-like than I knew.
I might have to go up against my senpai, but I ain't gonna hold back against a robot like you.
Thinking with a calm mind, I noticed a small incongruity in his attitude. When he first saw me, he seemed unsure and claimed that he had not seen me before. Yet he knows now that I am a machine. He doesn't seem particularly surprised. Aren't those two things contradictory? I focus my senses once more and enhance the gain of my sensors. I detect a faint interference. Because it appeared uniformly across all my sensors, I hadn't been aware of it. What is this?
Do anything, I'll make the first move.
A persona?
Light flickers intermittently. Could that be electricity? A thick barrel-like arm charged with voltage appears from above. I jump back and narrowly escape a crushing blow.
Nice dodge. Looks like you got at least a little bit of fight in you.
A persona user. I was careless. I should have expected this possibility since I encountered him inside the TV. I do not know the procedure for attacking a human, but if he's a persona user, I must defend myself with the usual armaments.
There's no avoiding this fight. I cannot fall here.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. I need to check the move list again. I don't remember how to do her fucking project. Her projectile's like a half circle. That's bullshit. I don't remember her moveset. I know there's like, she has like a overdrive thing. Which makes her faster and she can fly around and do shit, but... Oh, good lord. This is gonna be bad. I had a rough time practicing with her. So these matches are gonna be awful. They're gonna be worse than Naoto's. So... Okay. Yeah, see, look at all the fucking origin mode, man. Like, goddamn. What the hell we got? But she has what? We didn't practice that. Freaking bullshit. And that's mode change. And that's a mode change, right? And then hold the button during the B and skill boost versions to continue shooting. Oh. Alright. Cannonball explodes on contact. And the Vulcan cannon's good though. Oh yeah, cause yeah, she could boost like nobody's business. What's Goddess Shield? Towards procedure forward, launch the opponent in the air. Only when awakened. And then her oops. Okay. Up! Oh, I absolutely did not. Ooh. How do we... Ah. Oh no, I'm electrocuted. I'm paralyzed. Good God. Woo! I'm just gonna fucking auto to victory. What? Oh shit, I didn't have 2 fucking meter. Stop it, get away from me. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. I can cross up with that though, I remember. No! I know I can cross that up by doing the follow-up. Yeah! There's a cross up. Okay. Oh! 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 How do we fucking... How do I do that again? Right. Right, there we go. Okay, keep in the corner! Corner pressure! Fuck! Shit! There, just auto. Fuck, she's so hard. I don't understand her at all. Oh, she's got too much. I just kind of fuck. Yeah, these are all gonna be awful. just a fair warning to everybody. These are all gonna be awful matches.